Welcome, ladies, and you boys too. I'm Aravero, here as always, and here is Vagabond Kate. That did not come off as well as I was hoping it would. On the Zedwork server, Zedwork LVS, yay! Anyway, if you remember from the last episode, you'll remember this is where we left off. Of this lovely structure, we're trying to work on filling in this void area between our two quartz brackets, and I had settled on using brown mushroom, possibly up there for the floor of the villager holding cells. And I had decided that I liked this brown rectangular structure going up through the middle. And then as soon as I finished that video, I decided I hated it. And so then I started thinking, okay, I want the geometry, but maybe not that rectangle. So then I was like, okay, well, I have these diamonds here, which is just, a diamond theme. And there's these diamonds here in the water. So what if I carried that diamond theme up onto that and used that? Ta-da-da-da! So I have not edited up there at the top like I thought I had. So anyway, so there I have this shape, which is again brown terracotta and brown mushroom. And we've ended up with the same rectangular shape as we have on the other side, just with more detailing. And I've also added in these pillars of prismarine here, coming on this side of the white, because on this side of the quartz, just trying to pull this shape in together. So what we need to do is we need to somehow connect the side, this quartz structure, to the brown structure and make it look like one unified whole. So I have an idea of something that I'd like to try. So I'm going to come up here on the front of this really quick. And I want to try a little bit of quartz stairs right here, like this and like that, and see if that unifies it together. We'll go and look at that in a few minutes. I want to come up here and do it again on this level, because this level is going to need to be pulled out a little bit more. I'm going to have to scaffold over here. The scaffolding on TV, yay, that's riveting content. Okay, there, and then come over here like that. Go like that, and like that. Oh, no, wait, somebody's wrong. It's you. You're the one who's wrong. Okay, and then I need to scaffold over this way a little bit more so I can get this put on the correct direction. There we go. This one. Right there. And there. Okay. Oops, one more. One more. Oh, still not right. Still not right. Still not right. It's the I just did the exact same thing. Did you see that? I made the same mistake twice. I'm wondering why I made the same mistake twice. This is what my intention was, yes. I guess I expected it to be more quartz than that. Okay, so let me hop through the middle here and jump my water stream and come on up here. The other thing I wanted to do up here is just kind of play around with this brown mushroom. I got to do something here about that. So I want to come here, put this here, expand, and this is just an expansion of the same idea of the diamonds. I'm now expanding them out to something's not right here. It wouldn't be here, I don't think, because doors. Yeah, that's fine, but this is not. That's why it looks funny from the bottom. Yep, because we would want to pull this side out. Herm. I guess it could conceivably. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. This is where the problem is. I need to have a block here. I need to have some kind of block here that makes sense in the color scheme, that fits in the plan, makes sense in the color scheme, fits in the physical, for the physical need of, I need to put a door right here. Or actually, I need to put several doors right here. So that we can come in. Okay, so then the doors, because the doors will actually, you know, the doors for the doors plus villagers equals village equals spawning iron golems. Yeah, something like that. So this is the level that the door needs to be at, because the wiki says it spawns within 6 blocks of the excuse me, says that the iron golem will spawn within 6 blocks of the lower half of the door, vertical blocks. And I don't know whether that counts as this one, 2, 3, or if it would just count as this is the bottom half of the door and come down 2. So anyway, I'm planning on putting the doors either on this level or on that level. And okay, so now I want to go down here. Whee! I'm practicing my elytra flying gliding thing. Whee! Whoa, hello. It's really easy for me to get into those horse pens. Woohoo! Okay, actually, I think maybe it might be the prismarine brick that goes across there. Look at that. That was completely accidental. I was just trying to find a block that would fit the theme for, So anyway, I'm playing with the theme of the diamonds and the brown, combining the brown with the prismarine, and towards the end goal of getting a platform there that I can put doors on. Actually, I kind of like this diamond there, so I'm going to pull that diamond down. I left my little scaffold there. Pull this brown fattening of the diamond down, the brown mushroom down, and see what we get from that. And then I'll be back. Did you notice at the end of the last segment, I came down here and I looked all the way up there at that brown, but I didn't happen to comment at all about where I had put the quartz before? Probably because those two spots there and there, the quartz blended in so well that it didn't attract attention. So, I think that's a good thing. It does not, hello creeper, does not, however, hello creeper, it's like, let me, okay, it does not, however, look good all the way up, which is the problem. If we look again here, we can see the horizontal line, this strong horizontal line is still proportionally not a happy thing. But I've got some ideas. For one thing, one idea that I have is that we could put a little bit of quartz to continue framing around the brown squares. I'm not sure that that'll help anything. It'll still, that'll improve the, that will focus the proportion, I think. I don't think that will work very well. Another thing I want to try to do, and I can't do it at these lower levels, I seem to have a lot of lag, or my elytras being really excited about doing stuff or something. Okay, so I want to try a slab here, one there, and one there. So I get a little bit of an arch here. I don't think, to have it straight across. Okay, so then another thing that I want to try is to come up here and do the same thing, only a little higher up on the build. So that was lag or something. Come on, there it goes. I don't think it's the server. I think it's my computer, because my computer has been acting a little bit lately. Okay. And then another thing I want to try, which I can't do down here because I've already got that dark, or the dark prismarine there because there's not enough size. Another thing that I want to try is I want to try putting another pillar quartz right here. I think I want to try this. I don't have enough pillar quartz to do them both completely correctly, so we'll just see what we can come up with. That is getting to be a little jittery. It looks really jittery for me, so it must be not a good thing. Okay, so let's go there. I'm going to try this here in that location. And see, I'm thinking that that'll give this a little bit more vertical, as long as there's this space there. It's not going to work on the lower ones where there's not that space at all. Hello, hello. Hey, I saved myself with my elytra. Not that I was going to die or anything, just yay, I saved myself with my elytra. It means I'm getting better at with reflexes and the elytra stuff. Okay. So let me run back up here and let's have a look. Okay, I was afraid to do this kind of a double pillar before because I'm afraid it'll be too much. I've got a scaffolding in the way, but actually this arch in the middle doesn't look bad. The higher level arch, kind of like that. At least it's not a straight line. It's going to help break up the proportion, and I think I might even be able to get away with this pillar, this secondary pillar idea. We'll have to play with it. I'll have to get some more pillar. I've got this now. I did decide against the quartz pillars because they were just going to end up being too much quartz. Too much quartz as a resource. Too much of a quartz building with colored accents, and I didn't want that. And so now I've got this design in for the walls. We've got white glass and cyan glass. And up here at the top, I've switched from glass to concrete because this is a floor surface for what is going to be the villager holding cells. And let's see if I can get down here without dying again. And over here, okay. And then there is also this new quartz rim around the outside of this floor shape, just to give it some definition. And for those of you who are counting and keeping scores, yes, I have put up another set of the quartz brackets on the side just to hopefully work with the height that I'm about to add on here as far as the with the additional height of the actual villager holding cells. So I've got some supplies laid in up here, so let me get up here. The inside is getting to be kind of patchworky though, so I'm going to have to give some thought to what I want the inside of the building to look like. Although it doesn't have to be anything especially special, it's just a functional device. It's going to end up being a kill zone. Basically, its primary function is going to be to kill the iron golems. So whatever else it does in there is just going to be housekeeping. All right. So, and I've continued the pattern around just a little bit on the sides, but not all of them because this is a lot of quartz and I do not have enough quartz to finish what I've already planned. So, as I said, I have some supplies up here. What I want to start with is I want to start with the brown. And I want to do, well, maybe I want pillars, actually. That's what I want. I want the quartz pillars. Let me keep the brown concrete. I do have it. Okay. So right here I have a corner structure right there. So I think that's going to be a nice place to have another pair of pillars. Now these ones are not going to go as high even as this space here. Well, because there is going to be a roof. We need our villager holding cell to not be any bigger than these doors. Oh, and these doors, this is what's happening here. We have two layers of, this down here is a layer that's going to hold water, and we're going to build another basin up here that's going to hold water. The prismarine is at this moment still is probably just a cheap block I have laying around right now. And then, so the doors, according to the wiki, an iron golem can spawn in a 16 by 16 space. So this space here is about 18 or 19 blocks. centered on the bottom of the, or excuse me, the base of the doors. So that would be like the rectangle down there that's actually between the line between the two blocks, okay? So that means this spot, and then this one up here should be, come on, you should be a spawnable, valid spawnable space, but right now there's a block here, so 2 more spaces above there, but also 3 more spaces, these 3 spaces down here for spawning golems. So essentially it's 2 full platforms of spawning golems, if I understand the mechanic correctly, and I'm not promising that I do. But anyway, that's what I'm working with at the moment. There's lots of pictures of iron farms that look like this, and so I'm going to assume I'm correct. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let this be 3 tall here, because for aesthetic's sake I want it to be the same at least as this. And then I'm going to end up needing some quartz around the outside, or possibly, since in 114 we're getting slabs and stairs of prismarines, I'll possibly use a detail there, but I don't want to think about that right now because I don't have enough quartz to do that. All right, so another thing, then the next section is probably going to be just to follow these up. And since these are villager holding cells, we can do this. I'm afraid that this solid brown structure will be too much solid blackness, excuse me, solid darkness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the same thing over here. Again, I'm just using the pattern that's already there as a base. But I'm going to, instead of doing that like this, I'm going to do something that will emulate. What can I do that's going to emulate what I already have? Okay, brown mushroom. I have some brown mushroom over here. Brown mushroom. I have a hoe from the farms. Okay, so I'm going to just go right here. Let's do this as well. I'm going to have to put a ceiling block inside just so that the golems cannot spawn inside this space, and so that and so that there's not available, I'm going to have to lower the ceiling, but for right now I want to work with this shape because it's going to end up being better in the long run. Okay, then this is a quartz color. I think I will try white concrete if I have some laying around. I don't have any white concrete, but I do have a little bit of an abundance of this chiseled quartz, which is because I keep making mistakes when I'm trying to make pillar blocks. So I have an abundance of this chiseled quartz. I'm going to just do this for right now because what I want to do is I want to see how this looks already in this. See now right here, that's going to look stupid. This is going to be a dumb looking stripe. And actually I don't think I want this to be quartz because it would probably make more sense if it was the mushroom blocks, because there's mushroom blocks on that side of the brown, so I'm going to put mushroom blocks over here. I probably will change the shape. So let's get this done here, and then do that, and then glance over at my time. I have about 5 more minutes. Okay, so now we're going to do the try to die thing while we try to get over there to that tree. I had it down to where I could do it really, really good, and then I got to where I could only hit the small tree, but that's okay. All right. So this is looking all right. Now, if I did pull the quartz around as a perimeter on the front of that, that would give me these 2 lines right here. So I'm thinking I don't want that. Okay. I want to figure out a way to pull the pattern up. So what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to try to do some white in the middle there. We can go ahead and repeat this. We can now go ahead and repeat something like this in these spaces, I think. So let me go upstairs and let me go back up there and fiddle around with some more glass and mushroom and try to make the window shape that we have down here up here and see what we get, and I'll be back. All right, so here's what I have done. I have carried again the same brown pattern. I see a mistake right here. This is the same diamond pattern with the, oh come on, mushrooms and the brown quartz, excuse me, brown concrete, and these colored glasses that I have been using for the rest of the building, which you can't really see from here. And This is a slight difference from what it is in height, because a 4 block tall window looks really weird, but we might get away with this 3 block high. Plus, as I said, I want there to be a little variation in height along the outside there. I've got just a few quartz blocks there for us to look at from the outside to see if this looks good, and I have not gone down to look at it yet. So anyway, but the problem with this particular plan is if this is the cell itself, if all of this open space is the part that holds the villagers, then right here is a place where a zombie could potentially spawn here and infect a villager in there and thereby break my farm. So I need to either make a decision that the villagers are going to be held in here in a safer part of the build, or I need to choose a different resource. So let's go have a look and see what we've got. And yes, no, fail. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is what we've got now. It seems kind of weird, and is it just me, or does the color, like this one is too narrow, and especially with the quartz on at this exact moment, it looks a little bit devilish, but it's okay, maybe. I don't like the two sides, and I don't think it's because there's no quartz, or not exclusively because it's no quartz. I don't like the shape, but there's just too much mushroom block there is what I think, but this is the same shape as is down here, so I'm going to have to modify something up there to make that work better. And then again, I'm out of quartz. I'm virtually out of quartz except for chiseled quartz. So I'm not going to be able to do the perimeter around here in quartz. I'm thinking that if I continue the perimeter around here in quartz, then I'm going to have an interesting little height area. But then I will have these vertical structures off here to the side, which once I fill the birch and the slabs in, might not look as strange as they look right now. So I'm going to have to go up there and fiddle with those windows a little bit and see what we can do to make them look happier. And then I'll be back. Well, as soon as I got back up here, I figured out what the problem is. Part of the problem is that this should be blue, or cyan, I guess is actually the case, rather than the brown, which is why the brown seemed like there was too much brown, and why seemed like there was too much mushroom, because if I had done it right, I would have had cyan here where I had all this brown mushroom, and yeah, I don't have enough cyan. Okay, look at this stuff. Oh, my world is just so bad. Okay, this should be cyan. Cyan, cyan, and cyan, and then if that was cyan, that would mean that this, give me 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 this. This would here be brown, I believe. Let's see, brown. And then this one could be brown and brown. Yep. This still might be too much brown color, but it'll be better because it'll have the cyan in it. And since I don't have enough of the cyan made already, I'm gonna have to go down to make some. So we'll go down to do that, and we'll look at what we've got so far and see if we're headed in the right direction. All right. Well, I have finished the windows. I've got a little spot right there. I need to put some prismarine in, dark prismarine. But anyway, I finished those windows on that cell, and I've gone ahead and added on a cell on this side, just so that I could see what it would look like with two cells on it. It's starting to get to be a pretty building, I think. I'm getting to be pretty proud of it, which, considering the fact that we started on this building, well, we started on the idea of building an iron farm at the very beginning of this video series, which was about 10 months ago now. It's a gosh darn good thing that I'm getting happy with that build finally. So what we have left to do here is, of course, this is not yet a box that's going to be safe enough to hold a villager. We need to have we need to do something about an iron golem killer here. And we may need to do something about these ledges to prevent some zombies from spawning. Although if they spawn inside the tower here, that shouldn't be much of a concern. But up here, as I said, I've got these two cells. And we're going to end up with putting the villagers somewhere in here. So we're going to have to figure out exactly what's happening there. And then golems will spawn here and golems will spawn there if I've done everything else correctly. And if not, I've still got a pretty building. But I'm out of time for today. So I'm going to have to leave this... I'm going to have to call this episode here. Doodle-doo. Toodaloo. Oops, something's not right here. Yeah. I'm just learning the rockets.